I first entered foster care when I was 10 years old. It was about the year of 2012. And I entered foster care because at the time, me and my mother and my sister were homeless.
Kamari Wilburn is a youth advocate for Virginia's foster care system. She's now 18 years old and part of a group of teens in Virginia that is using their voices and sharing their experiences to push for change. Fariha Rahman, another youth advocate, is 20 years old and currently attends Northern Virginia Community College.
You constantly feel like you can get kicked out at any second. There's no like stability. So here you are trying to balance everything and still having to be on the go, go, go with college and SATs and everything. So that was pretty stressful.
According to a 2018 study by the Kids Count Data Center, there are an estimated 4,915 foster children in the state of Virginia. Allison Gilbreth is Policy Programs Director for Voices for Virginia's Children, an organization that advocates for those children with the state legislature.
I would describe it as a system that is often responding to child abuse and neglect and not necessarily preventing abuse or neglect from occurring, but also fails to recognize the difference between poverty and actual harm of children.
Back when I was in foster care, they would come in, my foster agents would come in. They would say, I need to see the kid. They'd look at us literally, and then we would be on our way. And I think it's not enough necessarily.
We consider youth advocates sometimes the most important voice in the room that's often not necessarily heard the first. They have great ideas to share with us, with legislators, with other community activists.
And they did just that when in January, Voices for Virginia's Children hosted their second annual Foster and Kinship Care Advocacy Day over Zoom to have youth advocates share their stories with state legislators.
We all had a time in which we could speak, and I basically spoke about how I felt about a certain issue, which had to do with finances and stipends.
It feels good to be talking to them and really telling them, and then seeing changes happen because I talk to them just kind of shows you how much your voice really matters.
I remember being in foster care thinking that this stuff is normal, like, and being like, why say something? You know what I'm saying? But when you hear other people say exactly what you're saying and then hear it from a different point of view of, I didn't like this, and then you start to be like, I don't really like it either, then it starts to make people want to stand up for themselves. And then that causes like a tumbling effect.
And now that I've kind of like overcame a lot of those things, I'm trying to be here for other kids too and trying to help the system so they can kind of get to the root of the problem, things that I wasn't able to do.
Including the voices of kids with personal experience in foster care has changed how the government and advocacy groups identify and address issues within the system.
What makes such a big impact is because now you're not just looking at stats, you're not just looking at this or that, now you're hearing real things that have actually happened.
My story is changing someone, and that's amazing to me. I like it.